We will call the Utility Special District meeting for April 16th, 2025. The time is 5:37. Madam Clerk?
Member Guyton, Board Member Guyton, Board Member Guyton,
Oh, it didn't sound, I didn't
Here.
recognize the name.
Yeah, I didn't understand what you said. I'm here.
Board Member Miller Anderson, Board Member Lanier,
Here.
Board Member Spiritus, Board Member Davis Panier, City Manager Jonathan Evans,
Present.
Acting District Clerk Deborah Hall is present, District Attorney Don Nguyen,
Here.
District Finance Director Randy Sherman. Oh, and for District Director, District Finance Director Randy Sherman is the Assistant Finance Director Nydia Reynolds. Madam Chair, you have a quorum, you may proceed.
Uh, it's not clear over here what you're saying.
It's on.
Maybe we need some more clarity in it.
But usually we can hear through our thing here, but that's not working anymore. Does this not work anymore? Because usually it helped us out.
Yeah.
The bass here,
Yeah.
speaker in it.
We'll have
Okay, now I can hear
communication.
it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But that is his thing.
No.
Can
It's coming
you
through
hear
our-
me?
it's coming
Yeah, we
through
can
the
hear it now.
speaker.
It comes through the speaker right
Okay.
here.
You can hear people through the speaker. I did. I didn't hear it.
Okay, we will have the moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Paneer Davis. Davis Paneer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions for this agenda this evening?
None from staff, Madam Chair.
Hearing none, can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Board Member Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Lanier,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Yeah, the chair does go last. But I wanted to make sure before we just adopted the agenda that are there any disclosures from either the staff or the council regarding this agenda? Hearing none. The next, are these two resolutions on consent or no?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, those two items are on consent.
Okay. All matters listed under this item are considered to be routine and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council person so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Anyone wants to pull anything off of the consent agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to take the second item and move it to the agenda, please, regular agenda.
Any objections? Hearing none. 2A?
So 2B,
No, I'm saying, I'm asking,
Okay.
do you have a problem with 2A?
No.
All right, very good. Can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda with 2A,
so
with
moved.
2B taken off, I should say.
So move.
Second,
Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Board Member Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
yes.
Board Member Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Awards and presentations?
We're on item 4A, awards and presentation, election of a chairperson and vice chairperson for the Utility Special District Board of Directors in accordance with Section 3.03 of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District Charter. Madam Chair, at this time, the floor is open for nominations for the chairperson of the Utility Special District Board of Directors.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I nominate, the current chair, well, no, the, yes, I'm nominating Ms. Lanier.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing that there are no other nominations, Shirley Lanier is the chairperson for the Utility Special District Board of Directors, 2025-2026. Madam Chair, the floor is now open for the vice chairperson for the Utility Special District for nominations for vice president for the Utility Special District Board of Directors.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I nominate Ms. Miller Anderson.
Are there any other nominations?
Madam Chair, I nominate Ms. Councilperson Gwen Spiritus.
Councilperson Spiritus? Okay, are there any other nominations? Seeing that there are no other nominations, the floor is closed for nominations for the vice chair of the Utility Special District Board of Directors. We will now take a vote and begin with nominee Kashamba Miller Anderson. Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Board Member Davis Panier,
No.
Board Member Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Oh,
Board Member Lanier.
Yes.
Board Member Kashamba Miller Anderson has been voted vice chairperson for the Utility Special District Board of Directors, with Board Member Davis Panier and Board Member Spiritus dissenting.
We'll move on to the presentations on updates of utility special district projects. How long is this presentation?
Madam Chair, if I
Yeah.
may.
Yes, go ahead.
Before we move on to that item, I believe item 2B was pulled from the regular agenda.
Right, I
Oh,
thought
oh.
that it would go
Moved to
under
number
regular
7.
agenda.
Oh, my apologies, my
So it
apologies.
goes, well, how does it go? Under
No,
regular,
you're correct. I thought it was under discussions. Yes, you're
Yeah.
correct. I'm sorry, Madam Chair. These presentations are anticipated to be probably in totality no more than about 10 to 15 minutes max. Because the written reports have been provided in the actual agenda backup, and then we are going to be requesting that for each of the board members an opportunity to brief you one-on-one for approximately about an hour to go over some of the utility projects and accomplishments since the utility district project commenced.
Madam Chair,
yes, go ahead.
I think we should have a discussion, not now, about time limits, restrictions on how long presentations go. 15-minute presentation, 20-minute presentation, are way too long. We need to have them to be more concise and to the point, take out all the fluff, but that's a discussion for another time. If we're going to start really getting out of these meetings on time, we're going to have to start putting some time restrictions on them.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, but I suggested this before, that we would have the special district utility meetings on a separate date anyway.
I agree.
This water issue is very important, and I think it should have its own time, because what we do is that we start at 5:30, and then we get to 6 o'clock so fast, and then people are waiting for the regular meeting to start. So we're gonna have to pick a day, and we don't have to do it today, but we have to pick a day where the utility district is by itself, because a lot of this information is very important, and I appreciate conciseness, but I want to make sure that all of the information regarding the existing water plant and the new water plant is discussed. So I want to, at our next meeting, we can settle on a day and a cutoff time for a utility district meeting by itself.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Some years ago, we did have it on a separate day. We used to meet on Mondays, and obviously we weren't doing as much activity as we are now. So I truly understand the purpose of it. But I think for considering the situations that have occurred over the past year, year and a half, and the concerns of the residents, we talked about being able to make sure we provide enough information to everyone through these presentations. Obviously, we don't want anyone rambling for a whole hour or so, but I do think it's important that we continue to get this information out so that the public truly understands what is going on. And that was why we asked for these presentations. And considering that our agenda for the regular meeting tonight is very short, I don't want to skip on this presentation. So we want to make sure we kind of at least get the information out, and then we can kind of see as time go on, maybe when we have utility district meetings, maybe we don't need to pile up on the city council meeting on that night versus versus having another separate meeting, because then, we talk about being late at night, then we're going to start saying, oh, Lord, we got to come 2 days a week, so, it's going to probably be about the same, but let's just try to make sure we get the information out, and then also we'll see whether or not we can do something with the regular agenda on the nights that we have a utility district meeting where we need to spend some time and get the information out.
Madam Chair, if I'm,
Wait a minute. So you're thinking that, like tonight, it could go on the regular council meeting day, but if it's a long agenda, we would have another day for it.
Possibly.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Madam Chair, if I may, and just as a point of clarity, there are 4 groups to present. All their presentations in its entirety would be 15 minutes. So each group was told that they would have to be less than 3 to 5 minutes. So the entire presentations from the group updating you will be 15 minutes. Also, one of the things the board can consider, and I'll bring you an item before you at your next utility district meeting, is the 4th Wednesday of the month. I know the CRA has, when there is heavy items, has utilized that as a meeting day, but that is something that you're consistently, at least for a little bit, have been used to meeting on that. So that will be an item that I will bring forward for the board's consideration and recommendation moving forward, that your 4th Wednesday of the month would be the utility district special meeting. So not to utilize another day in the week in conflict with other programs, but I'll bring that item back.
Madam Chair. Very good.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I agree with Vice Chair Miller Anderson. We have a fiduciary responsibility to get all the information and ask questions and have the public ask questions, and it's very important. I don't care if we stay here till 2 in the morning. This is our responsibility. This is our job, and I think we should not put time periods on people giving us information and explaining projects like this to us. They're just way too important, and I think whatever it takes, it takes. And I think if you have the meetings on a different date, that's fine, but I don't care how long it takes. We have to get that information out there, and we have to ask questions and have the public be able to participate as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, very quickly,
Yes, go ahead.
let me just clarify what I was saying. I said we need to take all the fluff out of it. Water is very important, and certainly we want to get the information out, but I would not be standing here at 2 o'clock in the morning. That is not going to happen with me. I think that we can be efficient and get the necessary information out without us having to stand here 12 and 1 o'clock. Totally unnecessary. The public would get to speak. I would never, ever suggest that the public be restricted in their comments. Only thing I was talking about, I've said in here, and there's a whole lot of fluff in a lot of some of these presentations, But the water is, there is no other issue more important than the water. So I don't want people to think that somehow I'm dismissing the importance of water. I'm saying that we need to be very attentive to the substantive of the presentations and just not a lot of fluff. That was the only point I was trying to make.
Yes, I agree with you, Councilman Guyton. That's why I suggested and Mr. Evans suggested a fourth Wednesday. I think that the information is important. I think that everybody should have an opportunity to know and to be explained to them what this information is. And yes, this is a business meeting. This is the business of the city. And business has to be efficient, but it also has to be respectful of people who are coming to these meetings and watching on TV. And at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, people are dropping off. I've seen the meeting starts at 6 o'clock, and by 9, 10 o'clock, when 6 o'clock it starts, it's 181 people watching. By 9, 10 o'clock, it's about 100. By 11, 12 o'clock, it's like 4 people watching this. So we do have to be respectful of people's time. And also, too, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, what kind of decision can you make at 2 in the morning? And people have worked all day, especially residents, especially us. You worked all day and it's 2 in the morning, you got to go to work at 8, and you want to be efficient and you want to be cognizant and awake when you make decisions as important as these. So yes, please, Mr. Evans, bring back that item so that we can look at a separate Wednesday for these meetings. Let's go ahead and get to presentation. I'm sorry, not presentation, but yes, the presentations. And 15 minutes for the total 4, Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, I think we can do it in 10.
Very good. All right, first person.
All right. Brian Caldwell, you want to?
Plan. I'm going to get it done in 2 minutes.
Mr. Nigel, okay, go ahead.
For the record, I'm Nigel Grace. I'm with Brown and Caldwell. We serve as the city's owner's representative for the new water treatment plant. A report was provided summarizing the status of the main elements. The key point I'd like to underscore for you is that phase 1 activities, which entail planning, design, permitting, and GMP development, is essentially winding down. Over the next few months, over the next month, we expect to have all the 90% design deliverables submitted, reviewed. The JV team intends to immediately pivot into GMP development, which will involve a process of competitively bidding various work packages, with the expectation that by October of this year, this board will be brought a series of GMPs that will essentially complete the work required for the water plant. So by October, I think there are like 4 GMPs anticipated, but the last of which will be in October. You'll have the raw water transmission, the new water plant, the finished water transmission, some early procurement packages, all rolled together by October. With the expectation that they'll be able to immediately then pivot into construction from that point. So those are the highlights. We have a lot of deliverables coming in right now, just over the last few days and over the next couple of weeks. So the next board meeting, we expect to be able to really deliver a lot more substance once we've had an opportunity to do a deep dive in some of the deliverables that are currently anticipated.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Nigel, you're doing a nice job, and I appreciate everything you're doing. But if I think back to February, we were told we were going to have 90% design done in February. That clearly did not happen. I'm hoping that within the next month, we hit the 90% mark that you're stating now. I assume there must have been some changes that we didn't expect, or some expectations that we didn't expect. But it's very important that we hit that 90% in the next month if we want to get this plant operating, in 2027, 28.
That's correct. Some of the activities that resulted in a little extra time the JV needed a little extra time to incorporate some of the comments from the earlier 60% design. And of course, the pre-treatment component has been lagging somewhat. So there's a number of circumstances, but we do have the 90% for Avenue U. We do have the 90% for the Wellfield transmission. The 90% submittal for the water plant is scheduled to be submitted to the city April 25th, in a couple of weeks. So all of the pieces are coming into place, and we think we'll be able to move forward pretty aggressively from that point forward.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. 2 minutes.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please recognize that our mayor, Mr. Douglas Lawson, is at the dais.
Evening. Welcome to board members. My name is Paul Gandy. I'm the president of Global Tech. I'm giving an update on the emergency wellfield rehabilitation project. Quickly, since inception of the project, we have completed wells 12A, 14, 852 for an additional 1.75 million gallons a day in the raw water supply. We are currently evaluating, conducting rehabilitation, or in the process of flushing and testing wells 921, 802, 871, 805, which was an elevated priority well at the FP&L facility, and well 961. We expect these wells, these 5 wells, to go online if testing and flushing and bacteriological testing goes well between end of April and end of May. We are also currently working on the hydraulic model for the well field to be coordinated with the new water plant. We have achieved testing on 17 of the wells, calibration of 10 of the flow meters. We balance those activities with the ongoing maintenance procedures in the well field. That is currently on schedule. We are also in the process of pursuing a monitoring well construction process. It is not a priority item, but we do continue that as part of our contract. And I believe that the only other item we have is we have moved some work that was originally intended for the wells at the existing water treatment plant to other priorities in the well field.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so can you tell me when your expected date of completion is on the work that you're doing now, or is there anything we can do to expedite that, to get those wells online quicker?
So there is, the current plan for the wells that have been identified is end of May. That is not the end of the potential list of wells, because the city has the ability to move the contract resources around and readjust the priorities, which they have done. And that in and of itself has expedited the process. The city is using their own forces for flushing and testing, and I think that we have a pretty good program. Also in concert with U.S. Water, I think that everyone's working together about as efficiently as they can.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so then you don't have to increase the amount of time that you're doing drilling. Everything is on schedule without
I
doing that?
will say this. Some of these wells have been out of service for is more than 6 months and as much time as a year. A lot of the work when we go into the well is exploratory surgery. We don't know what it needs till we get in there. Then we can set the time frame. It's material and supply dependent. Resources aren't really a problem. So it is a little difficult to assign an exact time to a well until you know exactly what it needs. But we do not anticipate a time extension request in our contract.
Okay, Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so then there's no need to do 24-hour drilling.
There isn't a need unless it's just a priority. If that, I think that's the city's discretion. If the priority is, are you talking about for the new wells under the JV, under the water plant, or for the ones that we're working on?
Both.
Okay. So if it's a priority to get the well on, we're not doing 24 hours because of a contract limitation. It's to try to get you the water as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and board members. I'm Mike Hoisington with the JV. We got a short slideshow with photos. We will make it quick though, as requested. The pilot testing, the pretreatment pilot has been running for 3 weeks. As of yesterday, we added the nano membranes to be able to start testing the results of the raw water and what was going to produce for the new water treatment plant. So we are doing that testing right now. We did bring in additional modules to be able to test and optimize to get the best recovery rate for the SAS well water that's coming in, because that's a limited source. Additionally, as you can see throughout town, to the town, that there are wells being drilled. So this is Avenue U, FAS well 5. They are also on site is SAS well 2015B. That one has, we did a pilot hole on that one so they could order the well screens. So right now they're concentrating on putting the surface casing. Is going to be down to 200 feet. Once they complete that, they will shift back over to the SAS well, because that water is critical for Riviera to be able to function their existing water treatment plant. This is an additional photo out there at Avenue U. We also have a well at 2015A. This one is delayed as we have found some abandoned utilities in the location of the well. They went to remove it this week and they found additional utilities. We did do utility locates. We did soft digs in the area. Somehow we missed all of these structures. So we are removing about 28 feet of reinforced concrete pipe and also an existing storm grate system. Once that's removed, we will remobilize a drill rig. The well driller has offered to bring out a third drill rig to bring the schedule back in line.
Excuse me, let me ask you a question. You said somehow you missed it?
Yes, there was an abandoned utility that was on site at the well location. It is not shown on any of the city records. We met with Terrence Bailey and John Armstrong. There was no reference in the city's data. But we found it. We will remove it.
Thank you.
So then this is FAS well 1. This is at Avenue U or Avenue L. You can see there's the drill rig. They also delivered the surface casing on site, and that'll continue to be installed.
As Nigel noted, we have this list of procurements that are planned. This is the same list you've seen. So our intention after we submit the 90%, which is scheduled for the end of April, is to start the process of a procurement plan and really moving forward with these procurements. So that's the next step. And that'll be hot and heavy, and that's it. Any questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So we had a discussion about the SAS wells not producing what we expected, and you told me that seems to be the case in this area of the county. Is there anything that we have to do or we should expect to try and pick up on that?
Well, those were initial pilot holes. So those are the pilot holes. So those weren't official tests. We did do a drawdown test to see what the recovery rate of that well would be, and the real results were not ideal. So it was an unofficial test. We're going to let the team do an official test. We were just conveying the information to Sue and also to Nigel so the team was aware of the information. We want to let the team do an analysis and meet with the experts, the hydrogeo experts, and figure out maybe a better way or a more efficient way to create a higher yield on that well, on the SAS wells.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So you're going to try and figure out a way to get more out of that well, but if you can't, are we going to have to drill additional wells?
The state won't allow for additional SAS wells to be
So we're going
permitted.
to have to go down deeper.
You can't go down deeper because there's a confining layer.
We're going to have to do additional wells that are going to go into 1,500 feet, right? To pick up
The FAS wells.
Right, we're going to have to do FAS wells, right? We're going to have to go to 1,500 feet wells.
That's correct.
To make
That's
up
the
the
other
difference.
option, and there is a plan for additional wells that the team has already forecasted to do. However, we did take a conservative approach and figured a lower yield on those wells, and we assumed 1,000 gallons per minute, but understand that they can get up to 1,500 gallons a minute. So we took the conservative approach. We also did add an additional FAS well to this project because of that concern.
Okay, thank you. That was very helpful.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for,
I didn't have a question, sorry.
I was asking the board, were there any other questions? Thank you for your presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good evening, Madam Chair, Board, Mayor, and City Administration. My name is Mike Miller. I'm with U.S. Water Services Corporation, and we're providing operational assistance to the district on the existing water treatment plant. I'm going to speak in three particular areas. First, on the water treatment plant, then followed by distribution, then followed by the sewer side. With regards to the water treatment plant, the water quality is still within standards and within regulation. It has improved, but we are still working on a lot of different equipment to make sure that we can get the water quality to its optimal level. So we still have a lot of work to do on that, but the water quality is still within standards. I'm sorry.
No, I'll wait until you finish your presentation.
Okay. With regards to the top priority for us right now, it is the well field and getting the wells up. It's the dry season, and we've been depending a lot on the interconnect. So we're trying to get the city off of having to use the emergency interconnect. But there's a lot, again, I go back to some of the maintenance that we're doing. And with Global Tech, they expedited their work in the well field. So we were able to get one well up today on the U.S. water side. We're actually working on wells 9A, 2004, 862, and 10A. We're able to get well 9A up today, and that'll provide approximately 400 GPM, gallons per minute. HR recruitment, filling positions. We've been assisting the district in filling the several positions that are open at this particular point. And I think along with HR, I think we're making great progress on that. So hopefully a number of the positions, in particular the executive positions, hopefully we can get that squared away soon. And that would be a big plus for the structure and the leadership in the district. And finally, on training / maintenance. As I was saying before, there's a lot of maintenance that still has to be done. We've taken down the center softener because once we are able to descale and clean that, we think that will be very beneficial for the water quality. And that should take approximately 2 weeks for us to complete. So hopefully by the middle of May, we can see some better water quality, even from where it is currently. Training, we're doing a lot of training. Our focus on training has been somewhat delayed because we've been having to resort to an operational mode in a lot of cases. However, we are training. We have gotten 2 new operators, a senior mechanic, and we're actually in the process of training them as they come on. So, and a lot of that will be OJT training, on the job training, but we will also have some classroom functions as well. With regards to distribution, the disinfectant residuals have been consistent and been within regulations, and that was a major issue coming into the district, especially on the west side. So we're seeing consistently good residuals. So that should help us when it comes to any potential violation. And finally, on the sewer side, we're assisting with the lift station 47. They had 2 large pumps that went out, so we're in the process of getting those reconditioned. Well, one definitely can be reconditioned. The other absolutely has to be replaced. So that's my report at this point.
Thank you. Any questions?
That's Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Miller.
Miller?
Yes, sir, Michael Miller.
Mr. Miller, you indicated that the water quality is up to standards.
That's correct.
Whose standards?
The FDEP standards in EPA.
F.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection they give us certain guidelines.
And the other one?
The Environmental Protection Agency, which basically, the rules for FDP definitely basically comes from the EPA, and then it's just filtered down to the states.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking these questions, I'm not a utility or water quality engineer, so I need some clarity. This is important to the residents too, about the quality of the water. When you say up to standards and they can be better, there are minimal levels that we have to reach in order to be considered acceptable by those state agencies.
That is correct. You have a minimum standards, but you do have a range in which you can, with regards to the regulations. And what we're trying to do personally is try to get the water quality to the best level that it can. And right now, we recognize that even though we've improved the water quality, there's still equipment that's not maintained, that has to be repaired for us to really try to reach that point as far as the optimization of the water quality.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
The test that you all do, is that done by water quality engineers or utility engineers, or who is actually doing the test?
When it comes to, there's two separate sets of tests that are done. We do what we call the lab processing analyses, so that we can determine what the best, let's say, the chemical feed, the dosages, or whatever, inside the plant. And that's done on a daily basis by the operators. However, when it comes to the regulatory samples, we send that to the various labs, depending on what the analysis is.
Last question, maybe second to last. One of the things that is important to me is transparency. Those tests that you do and the results therefrom, are they big documents? Or are they, I want to share with the public exactly what the results are, but certainly not a big document. Can it be minimized and put in layperson terms that the state said we should reach here, this is where we are, this is where we're trying to get? I want the public to see what the results are. Well, certainly I want to see too. But I think it's important not just to, and I spoke to the city manager about this, about transparency. Show them the results from the test. Is that a cumbersome process?
Not necessarily. We can definitely do that, and it is our intent to, at some point, have a dashboard where,
I was told about that.
Yes, to have a dashboard where you can actually, the public can actually see those, those numbers.
But until we do that, it's important that the public start trusting us again. And the only way I think they're going to do that is we reveal the information. Here it is. This is where we are. This is where the state said we should be. This is where we're trying to get. But if we don't start sharing information, I think it's going to take longer to gain the public's confidence back.
Sir, I agree with you 100%, and that's why we're working as fast as we can to improve it. But as far as getting the data to you, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
You have to get with the team and see what it's going to take, because you have separate tests, and we'll find out. We'll separate those that are that you would typically see in your consumer confidence report. Let's say some of the more, let's say, daily analysis that we do, and provide them. So I'll get with the team, and we'll come up with, we'll get together with them and develop a spreadsheet.
And those tests where we don't do so well, I want those included too. I want everything showing it to the public, where we are, what we're doing, and how we're going to improve it. I just don't want to see that we're meeting the minimum. If we ever come under the minimum, the public need to know that too.
Absolutely.
We,
Now, with regards to the lab processing analyses, we still are doing some training on that. And there may be some wide variations that we've seen, but it's not necessarily because of the water quality, but we have some junior operators, and we're just trying to get them trained so that they can do these on a regular basis, and they can be consistent.
I would hope that you have supervisors working with them.
Absolutely.
And so, irrespective of whether you have trainees or not, if you have supervisors working with them, what I want is transparency with the good and the bad and the ugly, and then have a plan to deal with it.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Okay. Matter of fact, every utility district meeting, I would like the reports, and I will be revealing them to the public, or we can reveal them if the board wants. But just in summary form, no big documents. But we need to start sharing up information with the public if we want to gain their confidence back.
I agree.
Thank you. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I totally agree with you, Councilperson Guyton, about the transparency. And just for a concise list, can you tell us what are the challenges in getting the water quality up to its optimal level? Just a list of what, as you've been working for a while, and we know your time is limited, can you tell us what the challenges are?
The major challenges right now is just maintenance. It's getting certain equipment in condition and repaired and in a condition where we can actually feel comfortable that the complete treatment process will work as it's designed. From the maintenance in the well field to the maintenance on the site itself, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but we feel good about the fact that we are making progress, and the fact that we are able to at least see an improvement in the water quality thus far.
In the previous meeting, you mentioned staff. We're doing better, and I heard you mention a few hires. Is that going better with the training and the staffing?
Well, I must say, with HR, we've been able to really focus and bring in some what I think will be quality employees for the district. But with regards to the training, we are really starting to focus on that this particular month. However, this is somewhat delayed because we have to go from, let's say, any planned training, scheduled training, when we find ourselves doing a lot of operational type work just to make sure that the water quality is within standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, very good to see you. The same question that I had in reference to the training and the delays. How long has U.S. Waters been under contract with the city of Riviera Beach?
We've been on the contract since September, so I guess about 7 months.
Originally, we slated and we were contracting for 6 months.
That's correct.
And you said that we're currently under delays for training. How do we address those delays immediately and get to a point where we can actually get the proper staff and trained individuals in place to run our facilities? Because I enjoy having you guys here. It's great to see you all the time, but it's costing our taxpayers. And I want to make sure that we bring in our own staff that can help cover the operations. So I know that you're dealing with operations, but was that not taken into consideration when you guys came on contract?
Well, initially when we came on contract, operations was not necessarily a part of it, right? So,
but why is that?
Because initially the way the contract was structured, we were supposed to help with repairs. We were scheduled to help with the distribution system as far as getting a residual that is consistent throughout the area, and also the commissioning of equipment, the RDP lime slakers, as well as the CO2 systems. But from operationally, that was not within our scope. I mean, the operation side, helping the operators to run the plant wasn't in the scope.
Okay. Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
To provide additional commentary with regards to that, the original contract, to Mr. Miller's point, was looking to get some of the items that were inoperable cured, to get some systems online. And then as the U.S. Water team started assessing the situation, they identified what the need was, and that's when we brought the subsequent item back to the board for consideration to lean into provide some additional help as it relates to training for staff and the assistants in looking at some of our job duties and responsibilities and job descriptions so we can make sure we get the right persons for the district today, but also for the future for the new utility district when we build the plant.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so, Mr. Miller, can you tell me, have all the softeners been installed now and they're all up and operating?
That is that's not accurate. We are currently working on the center softener, but the center softener that's going to be a heavy lift, but a lift that we can do. And as I said, it's going to take about a couple weeks to actually descale the softener because there's a significant amount in there. And that also has had an impact on the water quality because even though I think it's rated for 6.5 million gallons, due to the amount of lime that's built up, maybe you got about, I guess, 3 million gallons that it can hold, or something around that. So that kind of gives you a general idea of the level of work that it's going to take to descale and clean it. Now, I got to say that it may be sooner because I looked at the softener before coming here, and they're making great progress on it. But and it's not just the softener; it's all of the pipes and everything else that we're finding that once we work on one particular item, then we run into another situation. So that's part of what's really causing a lot of the delays because again, it's like an onion. You peel it, and then you got another layer, and then another layer. But we are making progress, and with the staff.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so clearly the softener isn't operating 100% right now, and that's going to have a major impact on the quality of the water. And I appreciate that, and hopefully you're correct. In a couple of weeks, we'll have that up and operating, and we should see improvement in the quality in the next few weeks. But going back to previous statements and trust of this utility district, it's going to take more than just being transparent and showing tests online, because we know from the Inspector General that tests that said failed were changed to pass. So you can put something online, but if it's incorrect, that does not build up trust and will not build up faith. And it's going to take a lot more than that, I think, to build up the faith of this community. I think it's going to be results you can see. We have to make sure that the existing plant is up and operating fully. I'm very happy that I made the recommendation to this board and the city manager to bring in an independent engineering firm like U.S. Water to help us operate and put out the fires, because clearly we did not have that ability a year ago. And I think that you're doing an excellent job, and we've made a lot of progress. And I don't care if it costs another $1.2 million to keep you here until we need you, till you're finished, because we have to provide good quality water to everyone. That's the most important thing that we have to do. But the most, I guess the top thing that we have to do is get this new water plant up and operating and fix our transmission lines. We have a long road ahead of us, but thank you for everything that you're doing, for the city, because clearly you've made a major impact on what's going on now. I can tell you, of course, that the mayor of Palm Beach Shores has an independent company that tests the water on a regular basis, and he reports to me that our water does meet or exceed state and federal standards. So clearly you're doing the job. So thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, staff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, sir, Mr. Miller, for your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The next item.
Madam Chair, the next item was the item that was removed from the consent agenda,
Okay.
which is item 2B.
Resolution number 11-25 UD, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District, Palm Beach County, Florida, approving the proposal from Craig A. Smith and Associates LLC to perform engineering, inspection, and permitting closure services for the replacement of the existing sanitary force mains crossing both the C-17 canal and the M canal, and authorizing the Utility Special District Finance Director to make payments from project number 23040 in an amount not to exceed $366,000. Madam Chair, we do not have any comment cards on this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair and members of the board, this item before you is seeking professional services to the tune of $366,000 for Craig A. Smith and Associates to perform engineering, inspection, and permitting services. This particular project is a project that is a budgeted project for the City of Riviera Beach Special Utility District, and the project is a $3.4 million project. City staff did procure the services of our engineering services consultants utilizing CCNA, and this is about 10.5% of the capital cost associated with the project. The cost for engineering is slightly more than what you would normally pay because there is significant monitoring that has to occur because these particular crossings do go over bodies of water that make its way to West Palm and is part of their potable water systems. So staff is recommending approval of Resolution 1125. Mr. Armstrong is here to answer any technical questions that the board may have concerning this particular matter.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so the reason I asked for this to be taken off, I'm full support of this project. I know it has to be done. My only question is the per hour fees, not to exceed. I just want to make sure that we keep a hold on that they don't charge us every time they drive down the street, that we're watching those hourly fees because they can add up real quick and we can end up coming back here with another $300,000. So I just want to make sure that the staff and whoever our owner's rep is going to be on this, I don't know if it's going to be in-house or whatever, that we keep a good hold on the hourly fees and don't let that get out of hand. That's my only concern.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
Absolutely, we will. And also kudos to the Utility Special District staff, but also Ms. Jacobs that was successful in obtaining a grant from DEO working with the team of $1.9 million for this particular project. And I think they also have requested some additional monies as well. So staff is working really hard to get this project done, and we will, to your point, councilperson, address those items that were communicated.
Thank you.
Any other questions about this item? Hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Evans. We'll have public comment at this point.
Ms. Lanier, we have to take a vote on that item.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Board Member Davis Panier?
Yes.
Board Member Guyton?
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus?
Yes?
Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Public comment shall begin at 5:45 unless there is no further business of the City Council, which at that event shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 5:45, then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded, the City Council Board has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings, which has been posted. It's actually right here with this stand of items that you cannot do during public comment. If any of these rules are not adhered to, the City Council chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and/or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly. How many public comment cards do we have?
Madam Chair, we have 3 public comment cards. The acceptance of the cards is now closed. The first speaker will be Scott Lewis, followed by Chandra Stringer and Doretta Polk.
Evening. Scott Lewis, 256 East 22nd Court. I think I heard the words training and efficiency maybe 15 or 20 times in the last half hour. I want you to know that wherever we're hearing that, I'm going to give you a practical, real world happened to me. I tried to get a new water meter. I got it. It took me 3 weeks. Now I can do this in West Palm where I have my other buildings. And I can do it all online, and I can pay a credit card. Never talk to a human being. City of Riviera Beach, in all efficiency and with all the training that we've just heard about that everybody's doing, it's costing taxpayers thousands, hundreds of thousands. On my 5th visit to City Hall and the water utility, Mr. Evans saw me and said, "What's the problem, Mr. Lewis?" And I said, "Well, I'm just trying to get a meter. I'm going back and forth between the buildings." He says, "Oh, I'll help out." He walks me in, he introduces me to the assistant manager or one of them and says, in the utility, and says, "Please help Mr. Lewis out. I want to have this done." I had a total of 18 calls or in-person visits to get my water meter. 18 employees. All were nice. Everybody was terrific. Your system sucks. How are you going to build a 21st century $300, $500 million plant and you can't run this? Y'all better do some remedial training, like how to give your staff tools that work. Get software systems that other cities and counties have proven work. That's going to help your staff. That's going to help us. My perception, the words training and efficiency, bullshit.
Excuse me, sir. You cannot
I know, I
use-
won't cuss. All right. They hid the water, the feces in the water. All right. This is just as bad. You got to have an efficient operation or you don't have a water utility that works. And don't go spending hundreds of millions of dollars and then end up with a system that the employees cannot run. Don't do it. It's going to be one of the most expensive water plants in the state of Florida. I know it's in Palm Beach County in the last 10 or 20 years. And this is one of the poorest communities. You've got to give your staff the right tools. And I'm talking about today's water plant. I'm not talking about the Gold Star that's coming. All right? You have to do something. There's no leadership over here that's taking care of it. You guys got to do it. That's your job. Make them do it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next speaker is Chandra Stringer.
Good evening to the mayor, city manager, attorney, and all the council individuals on the dais, to those who are in the room and those that are watching. First of all, I want to say thank you to the council. It felt so good, that the questions and the comments that you guys were saying before any of the presentations and how that reflects and how you are concerned about the residents and them understanding and being informed. It really felt like, so thank you for that. I did feel like the presentations was rushed because I understand we are definitely late for our regular council meeting, but it sort of kind of is a disservice that you're coming to be informed for the information and then you're like zipping through it. So it's like a disconnect there. So I'm not trying to point out negativity, but just bring light to some things that can be made better. Thank you, Councilman Guiding, for really honing in on what is standard, what is quality, because all of that is subjective, especially when, if I don't put chemicals in my toilet and over the space of 3 or 4 days, it's brown rings around the toilet. So what is considered up to standard? I think not only should we be providing test results, but actually, bringing in samples of water quality and showing people what it looks like and where did you get it from, because then that will also help validate what is being said and told. The other thing is, I would love, and I know I've said this before, to see how we can make everything we're talking about in layman terms, simple terms to the residents so they can fully understand what's being said. I learned about English through cartoons. And it may seem elementary or, simple to other people, but if we want the whole totality of the residents of Revere Beach to understand, look at some software. There are all kinds of things you guys can invest in. So when you're putting those pictures up there, that people can see, oh, they're saying this, but it means that. Break it down to the lowest denominator so everyone can understand what's being said. The other thing I would like to see is a glossary of terms. I don't like killing trees, put it online, but make it a running thing that people will know what we're talking about. Meeting notifications, City of Revere Beach social media, we see all the photos, but week after week, there is not a link or a notification that there is a meeting going on or where to find the agenda. And then the last thing is how we're going to communicate to the residents when they are being impacted for road closures, for cost or service things that are out of service. That is vitally important because if we don't know that, then that's when people start, making assumptions. And just don't put it on the billboard because everybody don't come down Blue Heron. Some people go the back roads. Thank you.
The last speaker is Doretta Polk.
Good evening. My name is Doretta Park, and I'm a resident of the City of Riviera Beach. And I just want to, after hearing the dedication of Mrs. Deirdre Jacobs, I just want to commend her. Securing a grant over $1 million, that speaks total volume. And all her dedication and work that she has done, and during the crucial time that things that were said against her and Mr. Evans that were proven false. And then she's still here working for the City of Riviera Beach. That speaks volume. And someone told me that I'm not really good at Facebook or Googling YouTube, anything like that. But when you Google Mrs. Deirdre Jacobs' name, it's stating chaos. That is totally wrong. That is wrong if that is true. That is wrong. And I just want to commend her. We got good people. And also Mr. Miller coming in to help us with this water plant that should have been done over 50 years ago. Let's get down to the business of taking care of all the citizens. And I think Mr. Evans is still doing a very, very commendable job in taking care of us, his leadership, and also what he had gone through. The general of the water general stated that we have to remember this, citizens, that there was no evidence of Mr. Evans nor Mrs. Deirdre Jacobs having any knowledge of what had gone on because they kept them out of play. And that was wrong. This comes under the leadership of the past water plant supervisor. And director. But I just want to commend Mrs. Deirdre Jacobs, and I hope she still can do and produce more grants. I know she's got so much on her plate, but $1 something million, I thank you. I thank you very much. Come on, people. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Madam Chair, that's the last speaker.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, you want to address any of those issues?
Yes, Madam Chair. With regards to the item that Mr. Lewis spoke about, the meter, we are going to look into that particular the particular situation and process map and see where there can be some improvements and see if staff can, operate any type of software that can make that process a little bit more efficient. We did talk about the dashboard. We are looking to put forth a dashboard that is a depiction of what is actually occurring at the utility special district in real time, as well as we are in the process of implementing a policy whereby those that are collecting samples will be utilizing body worn cameras as well. So we'll have the video data to be able to show that. And then the other item concerning communications about city events, city activities, and any closures or disruptions and those types of things. I'll get with the communications team on that, but we are working on a comprehensive piece that really talks about some of the things that are happening in the utility district and at the water plant to update the community on what has transpired since the last 18 months. So that concludes my comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Evans, didn't you say you were going to put the results of the tests online? Didn't we have this discussion about 6 months ago?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we're if I may, sorry. We are going to look to put the results online, but right now it's in a format that it has a lot of different jargon. So we're going to make it very simplistic and clean to where somebody can click and they can see the back end data, and then they can actually be able to see the data that was provided to FDOH. So you'll be able to see a layperson's interpretation, then the actual test form that we submitted, and then the test form that FDOH has as well. So you'll be able to, so that's what we are working on. So that will be something here. I would say in the next month or two, we should have a model that we can show to the board. And if the board is okay with the items that's contained in the dashboard, then that will be released for public consumption.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to, make it clear that this board did discuss this approximately 6 months ago, and you agreed with us that we were going to put these results online. So you're still working on it. And I do know that you want to get it right. We don't want to give wrong information or information people can't understand. But this is not something that we let fall through the cracks. We were certainly on top of this a while ago. Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion by the city manager.
None, Madam Chair.
Discussion by the attorney.
No, thank you.
Statements from the board, starting with the mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to save my comments for the city council meeting so we can continue the business, but just thank you, and thank you for being here, and thank you to my colleagues.
Thank you. Councilman Guyton.
Only that the next meeting should be scheduled for more than 30 minutes. So we would not have the public coming here expecting for one meeting to start at 6 and we're approaching 7. So I think that it should be extended because we do know that we probably would go over 30 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Miller Anderson.
I have nothing.
Councilwoman Davis Premier.
No comment, Madam Chair.
Councilman Spiritus.
Yeah, I would just like to thank the city manager, the staff, our engineers, our consultants. This is a monumental task that they've taken on to get the old plant operating sufficiently to provide quality water, and of course building a new $400 to $500 million plant. So I'd like to thank them very much for the hard work they're putting in, and please continue doing it, and let's get this thing open. Thank you.
Yes, and I agree. I totally agree with that, and I also agree that Ms. Jacobs in bringing in that kind of money through a grant that's almost $2 million to be able to help us to move forward and to give praise to the current water utility staff because they've been working very hard to get us where we need to be. With that being said, we're going to adjourn this meeting, and in 5 minutes, we'll start our city council meeting.